ஸ்ரீகுமரனின் காதலி திருவிழா அக்டோபர் 18 முதல்.
இப்போது புதிய அறிமுகம் ஆச்சி ஹோட்டல் சாம்பார் 50 கிராம் ரூபாய் 20 மட்டுமே.
இந்தியா கிளிட்ஸ் நேயர்கள் எல்லாருக்கும் ஒரு பெரிய வணக்கம். நான் உதய். ஸோ இன்றைக்கி நம்ம கூட பேச வந்திருக்க கெஸ்ட் யார் அப்படின்னு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா, கொஞ்சம் டிஃப்ரெண்ட்டாக நம்ம யூஸ்வலாக தமிழ் ஷோஸ்லாம் பண்ணுவோம். பட் இந்த வாட்டி வந்து ஒரு ஹிந்தி சீரிஸ் வந்து நம்ம பண்ண போகிறோம். ஃப்ரீடம் அட் மிட் நைட் சொல்லிட்டு ஒரு சூப்பரான சீரிஸ். நீங்கள் ஆல்ரெடி ட்ரெய்லர் பார்த்துருப்பீங்க. கண்டிப்பாக சோனியில் போய் பாருங்கள். ஸோ அந்த டீம் கூட தான் நம்ம வந்து பேச போகிறோம். ஸோ ஃபஸ்ட் உங்களை வெல்கம் பண்ணிடலாம். வணக்கம். 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 நைஸ். எப்படி இருக்கீங்க? How are you? Yeah, sorry, I lost the flow. So yeah, it's very nice to see you all together. And I had never thought in my wildest dreams that I would sit in the same room with Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, Gandhi ji, and Nehru ji, and Jinnah. And thank you for creating all them. And they all look so real, sir. Even now, I can see Jinnah in him. And see, he's not even out of the character. He's still Nehru. And Gandhi ji, I don't even have to say. And of course, Sir Vallabhbhai Patel. So first, I will start with you. Creating these characters, creating some characters is easy, but creating a character which we already know know all these leaders, but not very deeply. How challenging was it, and what were the things that you had in your mind?
Well, I mean, the minute you surrender yourself to doing adapting the book Freedom at Midnight for screen, the first thing is that who's going to play these very, very significant men, right, and women, and how are we going to manage to do it? And given the fact that today, even the youngest of children and audiences are so aware of, they can go onto the social media, go onto the net, and they can just find a photograph and say, "But this person doesn't look like this person," etc. Having said that, the first discussions that we had, my team had with the costume ADs and all, was that, listen, if we don't come 100% close to that, it's fine, as long as they embody right the spirit of what these characters were, right? Because at the end of the day, the physicality is only 50%. What Mahatma Gandhi really was actually was this aura that he had around him, right? What Jinnah was this personality that he actually projected. What Nehru was, again, hugely distinct personality, and so, I mean, Sardar Patel, known as Iron Man. So one had to be very clear that, okay, first thing, casting, we should come close to it, not because first they should be good actors. Second, they should be willing to not do anything for a year and a half, because we are going to be shooting for that long, and I don't want Arif or Sidhant to be some lover boy in some other rom-com, he's Nehru. Right, so the advantage was that all of them first of all understood that this is a valid request from a production, right? And then I think it went into costume and prosthetics, and what can we do this, can we not do this? 4 hours of prosthetic every day, 3 hours of prosthetic every day, 3 hours of prosthetic every day, right? I mean, yours what, an hour and a half? One and a half. Yeah, so just to, and in the beginning, everybody is excited. 4 hours, prosthetic. After the 4th day, where you're bloody, because we are going home after 12 hours of shoot and 13 hours of shoot, these guys have to remove everything. Then come back again 4 hours next day earlier, right, for me to be able to shoot. So it becomes quite challenging.
So to the actors, as exciting as it to play these characters, what was the things you were having in your mind to get under the skin of the character? For instance, Iron Man, we all know he's a great leader, but there is a humorous angle to Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, sir, and you have to bring it out. So the inputs given by the director, and you have to prepare a lot, right?
Yeah, but it was not difficult because briefing पहले से हमारे पास थी. और दूसरा एक ये बात देखनी पड़ेगी कि ये इनका रोज का काम है.
Okay.
ये सोते भी जागते भी देश के लिए काम कर रहे हैं, बातें भी देश के लिए काम कर रहे हैं. अभी मैंने किसी को एक एग्जांपल दिया था, हिंदुस्तान पाकिस्तान आर्क राइवल. एक मैच चल रहा था जिसमें वीरेंद्र सहवाग बीइंग वीरेंद्र सहवाग, जिस तरीके का वो खेल खेलते हैं, टाक 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 टाक, उनसे ऐसा नहीं खेला जाता. तो एक बॉलर, पाकिस्तानी बॉलर का उनको बॉल ही नहीं समझ में आ रहा था. अब वो बोर हो गए, वो गए इंजमामुल हक के पास. आप कंसिडर करें, इंडिया हिंदुस्तान पाकिस्तान आर्क राइवल, उसमें ये जाते हैं वीरेंद्र सहवाग इंजे भाई के पास कि इंजे भाई मैं बोर हो गया हूँ, मेरे को क्या करना है? बोले एक छक्का मारना है. बोले आपने जो वो मिड ऑफ में लड़का खड़ा किया ना, उसको थोड़ा आगे लाओ, मैं एक छक्का मारता हूँ, बस मेरे को शांति हो जाएगी. तो ओके, ये डीलिंग चल रही है हिंदुस्तान पाकिस्तान के बीच में. तो वो बोला पक्का एक बॉल दूंगा तेरे को, मारेगा, मारूंगा। आ गया, उधर से बॉलर चिल्ला रहे कि अरे इंजी भाई क्या कर रहे हो, सब गड़बड़ हो जाएगा, मार देगा वो। तो बोले तू चुप रहे, तेरे को मालूम ही नहीं अंदर क्या डीलिंग चल रही है। बॉल डाला, ठक हो गया तेरा, चल पीछे। इस तरीके का रिलेशनशिप ये रोज का काम है इनका। पर्सनल लेवल पे, पब्लिक डोमेन में रिलेशनशिप अलग है, प्राइवेट डोमेन में रिलेशनशिप बिल्कुल अलग है। ये रोज का काम है इनका। तो रोज के काम को आप ऐसे तो सिंग लगा के नहीं काम कर सकते ना। आपको ह्यूमन लेवल पे एक दूसरे के साथ बातचीत करते करते उन सारी बातों को हैंडल करना है। कॉज नेशन है। जैसे पीयूष मिश्रा साहब कहते हैं कि हमने शहीद भगत सिंह को एक फोटोग्राफ में कैद करके रख लिया। अरे वो भी तो लड़का था, 20, 22, 24 बरस का लड़का था, उसको भी तो दूसरे ख्याल आते होंगे कि दिन रात खाली झंडा लेके खड़ा है हिंदुस्तान का। नहीं हो सकता ऐसा, कोई नहीं कर सकता। तो वो ह्यूमन साइड एक्सप्लोर करना वो बहुत जरूरी था।
Definitely, yeah. And Gandhi ji also same. We have seen many characters.
Such a good interview, na?
Yes, sir. Yeah. So to Gandhi ji, we have seen many characters playing Gandhi ji. For instance, Mel Gibson also played. And when it happened that you are going to play the Gandhi ji role, what were the things that were running in your mind? And were you out of the character after filming?
Sorry?
Were you out of the character after filming, or you're still inside the character? Because it's so hard to get into the character.
I think he's eating sandwiches now. He was not eating before.
Yeah. And he's wearing your dress.
Loaded of yeah, but see, I keep mentioning about this that the show has been written so very beautifully.
Yeah.
And I personally feel as an actor, if it is not on the paper, you can't do it. So the humor that you are talking about is already in the script. All the wittiness of each and every character has been written so very well. So as an actor, it becomes my responsibility to look at the text and to understand it and what more I can bring to the table. So first of all, the whole 2-season script, bound script was given to us. So it becomes so very easy. Easy as in to interpret the character graph, the emotional, the interpersonal relationship. So we have like very good reference to perform. So and yeah, so and with like when we started reading before the series, यानी body language को उसकी tonal quality, body language, ये जो सारा कुछ हमने जो homework किया था वो निखिल सर के साथ बैठकर we tried कि भाई क्या लॉक किया जाए, किस तरह से, how to go about it.
Yeah.
And yeah, it happened.
It happened. And like sir said to you, you can play any lover boy or romantic character like that because it suits you very much. But when you're playing this character, it's a very important thing for you in your filmography. So when you chose this, what did you put in your mind, and what is the most difficult thing that happened to you when you're playing Jawaharlal Nehru role?
First of all, I must say you're from Chennai.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of the thinkers there, the makers there. You know, I think they think fantasy, you know. So you just asked me a question. I really, since he's Iron Man, I felt like Spider-Man. Really very, and I was, you know, I was looking at him. Obviously, he's the main subject that I have to play, the person that I have to become and inhabit. But I was looking at all the leaders globally, and you know, his respect back then. Here and also through the globe, and what I realized was really, if you see he's been one of the greatest leaders. Why? Because there are very few who carry the weight of the past, you know, in the chaos of the present, and at the same time in that foreseeing future at the same, you know. So it's like the three dimensions, carrying it all together and moving forward. So that really fascinated me, you know. That's why I said Spider-Man, you know, like really with his web, like holding all three dimensions together and moving like a giant along with these two giants. So what appealed to me was the most special part was to actually realize the true meaning of heroism.
Yeah.
It's actually these guys, they said, we will not raise our hand.
Just being steely, yeah.
You know, for years, it's, you know, someone says a bad thing, bad word to you, or, you know, spits on you or raises his hand on you, you obviously, you know, you, as human impulse, you will be violent. These guys never gave in to that, and that is powerful. You know, they believed in that energy of non-violence. It's like in a book, it said, Gandhi said, Mahatma Gandhi said, you know, there's Newton's law of gravity, and there are these Rishi Munis in the wars who discovered this power of non-violence. It does something, and it did something. Out of all the freedom fighters with great respects, everyone gave in to the violence eventually. These guys didn't, and that's why they stayed longer and they made sure that the country was free. So that is what struck a chord, and that is what actually fascinated me. You know, I was like, this is the true superhero. How do you do this? And so, I mean, then inhabiting a character, understanding character, and connecting to a character is just it's a journey. You know, you have to do the research. Eventually, you just become that person. It's a make-believe game that you play with yourself.
I think that's a very good point you made, because that's the biggest superpower a human can attain, I guess. To stay patient and to stay calm and not reciprocate the one.
Oh, 100%. It's really tough. It really is tough. You know. I mean, I have an incident. I don't want to get there. It'll get longer, but I mean, it's
Okay.
It is what it is.
And sir, the moment I see you, I remember Razi's Abdul. So I don't know what is making directors think that the moment they need a Pakistan guy, it's you. Have you ever asked? You can ask him, sir.
I think I have to change my name or something. So the name gives like a
Every time he sees you, what happens?
cast you like a Pakistani.
The moment you need a Pakistan guy, you go for
Razi.
Yeah, Razi did a part.
Yeah, you did a very good part.
Yeah.
Very good part, yeah.
But no, coming back to answering your question, the skin of the character. So if I write down Jinnah's like 5 bullet points, you know how you just write down adjectives.
Yeah.
Skin characters, actors like to use that word a lot in describing. You know, it's a more complicated process than that. So it would be domineering, ego. You know, has a great sense of self-worth. Physically, mortality has hit him when the story begins. You see that. There's a reason why that scene plays up right up front of the story. So, you know, throughout the story, you know that the man is contemplating and fearing death. So his behavior, and, you know, when you confront your own death, you tend to behave in a certain way. Maybe he's pumped up with a lot of medicine and morphine throughout the show. Who knows?
Yeah.
You know, as then cancer was not dealt with as it is dealt with now. So all these 7-8 dominating bullet points I can put there. And probably, you know, just try and put them into a mixer, and, you know, hopefully Nikhil will press the mixer button and see what kind of juice comes out in what scene.
Okay.
And then you, as an actor, you just have to drink that, a little sip that, and then he'll add that little salt. He'll add a little bit of whatever sweetener. Masala thoda. So that's how I go, really. My instinct, you know, his instinct is much larger because he knows the whole story.
Yeah.
And then you play it along as you go on. So that's essentially what the skin, I think, of the character is of Jinnah. And I'm also happy that it's the when you see the show, you realize that, you know, he's the big negative force.
Yeah.
They kind of oppose each other within their one given philosophy, but he's rather the most, you know, the dynamic opposite negative force which you see. And he kind of hollers his way around his own convoluted sense of self. And he got what he attained, what he desired for.
Yeah.
Right or wrong, as I keep saying, is your perspective, how you view history and how you view yourself. But he eventually got away with what he started, you know, sort of believing in very strongly. So that's what it is, I think.
Superb, sir. And when it comes to adapting from the book was already very popular, and it has its fair share of pluses and minuses. Some used to say that this is written in Englishman's perspective. So there were a lot of things that got changed. So when it is adapted as a series, what were the things you thought you should change, or you were just sticking to
it's not about what I needed to change, it's about what I needed to take from the book. It's not, I think the real word is adapted, right?
Adapted, yeah.
So it's not about what I needed to change. I mean, who am I to change the book? The book actually has been loosely, informally commissioned by Lord Mountbatten by to Dominic Lapierre and Larry Collins. He loved their earlier 2 books. So it's what I needed to take, and what we decided to take was actually the logline of the show, which is the history you may not know, but the history you should know. So the facts the events that took place between August 16, 1946, when Jinnah calls for direct action, and the snowballing of that, which finally leads to June 3rd, which is the transfer of power plant meeting, the round table meeting, and then August 15, which is August 14th, which is Pakistan's Independence Day, August 15th, which is India's Independence Day, and then when the big this thing, which is 30th January, when Mahatma Gandhi is actually assassinated. So those events are indisputable, right? And then it became part of the writing team to pick up smaller things from within, smaller things, smaller characters, more important for us to be able to tell you things which we felt is you may not know, but you should know, right? For instance, the dinner at the Viceroy's house, Gandhi going to Noakhali, all that. So when you see it, you have only seen one episode. Please see all the 7 episodes, and I think that you will be quite surprised that the gaze that most people are worried about, which is the Western gaze, really does not exist in the show.
Like you said, it's very simply made, and it's very accessible to everyone, and whoever watches it can know the story, can understand the story. No need to do deep research before watching the series.
Yeah.
So was this made intentional because everyone need to know? Even
yeah, absolutely. I mean, I mean, love for your country, the tragedy of partition, the consequences of India's independence. These are universal emotions. They are emotions which are universally, you'll feel you should love your country.
Yeah.
You should really feel that the partition was a tragedy, right? And you should be patriotic about the independence of your country from the British and 200 years of being enslaved. So those things are very universal things. What I think that we have chanced upon, and what we have tried to elaborate on, and successful, not successful, I don't know. That's something that we'll know in the next couple of days.
Yeah.
Is the individual interactions of all these people, and whether finally I have been whether I have been successful in putting the audience into the same rooms with these gentlemen and the women and the men who were taking very difficult decisions at that time, and who unfortunately right now we can turn around and say maybe those decisions could have been different.
Yeah. Anybody could have a.
But retrospect is a very powerful tool, right? They didn't have that. They didn't have retrospect. They had to take decisions in that moment.
Yeah. And one more interesting thing was when he said he is the one who those three are opposing, but they have internal conflicts between them.
Yeah.
Those arcs, which was a very interesting arc for you to write.
They're bound to have internal conflicts. They are like siblings, right? Nehru and Sardar. Sardar is like the older brother to Nehru, right? In the sense they've been together. They've been working together for 30 years, ever since Mahatma Gandhi has come to India, which is 1915. We are talking about 1947. So for the 32 years that they have been.
Definitely, yeah.
Do you not differ with your brother or your elder brother?
Absolutely.
Or brother
I was about to ask, which was the most interesting arc for you to write? Jinnah versus Gandhi, or Gandhi versus Patel, like that. Which was the most interesting arc for you to write or execute?
Well, it had to be. For me, it had to really be. I mean, it's difficult for me to choose, but I mean, I love the interplay that Sardar and Nehru had between each other, because you would seemingly think that they are on opposite sides of a situation, but then suddenly you would realize the other person would either convince one person or the other, and they would come together. So agree to disagree was important, and the larger arc, which was scene to scene, and which was moment to moment and situation to situation. But the larger arc of the show of the first season, of course, is where Jinnah in the first scene with his sister says कि मैं गांधी के बराबर हूँ, right?
Yeah.
So you had to somewhere of the show that is actually every decision that he is taking has germinated from that one sense of insecurity that मैं गांधी के बराबर हूँ. There was a guy who could have had it all, and like Sarojini Naidu says, when the sun rises, the stars fade away.
Definitely. And my final question would be this: when you create a story, audience just come and they enjoy it, they watch it and they leave. They give their feedback and leave. But when there is a history that's been made into a story, people have their own opinions and a lot of criticisms, a lot of appreciations. How do you take this as a creator, and does this appreciations and criticisms affect your creativity when you write the story?
Appreciation or opinion affect my creativity.
Yeah.
Appreciation, of course, affects my creativity. I would love to be appreciated.
But
I would love for people to celebrate Freedom at Midnight. opinion, you know, it's interesting that I don't know whether it's true or not, but I was reading it somewhere that an old woman caught Nehru by the by his collar and said ki India got independence, what did this old woman get? And he said the freedom to hold the prime minister by his collar. Everybody should be allowed to have an opinion in this country. That is what these gentlemen, the three of them, or the characters that these three gentlemen play, fought, gave up their lives for, so that you could actually have an opinion in 2024. That's what democracy is about.
Very well answered. So thank you for all your time, and wishing you all the success, and Freedom at Midnight become a very big success for all of you. Thank you for your time. Thank you.
ஸ்ரீகுமரனின் காதணி திருவிழா அக்டோபர் 18 முதல்.
இப்போது புதிய அறிமுகம் ஆச்சி ஹோட்டல் சாம்பார் 50 கிராம் ரூபாய் 20 மட்டுமே.